Moshi, Talensis, the Nabdabs, and the Wales, which references provided for further reading. Further evidence indicates that the Wales are part of the Nagbewa family, as clearly shown in the work of Dr. Hafiz bin Salih, who is the current Upper West Regional Minister. In his book, and I quote, "The Wala chieftaincy, which is located in Wa and its surrounding towns and villages in the Upper West region of Ghana, was founded by a Mampusi prince called Salia, who migrated from Naleru to Gambaga in early 1600s. Some historians refer to him as Suleimana. Prince Salia left Mampugu because he was defeated by his brother in the struggle to become the king of Mampugu. He then migrated to a place in today's Upper West region and together with the indigenous people founded the Wala states. The name of Prince Salia's brother is no longer known, but it is estimated that Salia became the first chief of Wa around the year 1620 to 1630. The king of Mampugu, who was enslaved around that period, is said to be Nantolimi, who was the 9th Nigerian, who was the last king, and he was the last king to rule in Gambaga before the capital of Mampugu was moved to Naleru. And that is Hafiz bin Salih book. It was published in 2018, page number 3. The professor has lost sight because language affiliation is different from the issues of founders and rulers. The Bewa lineage, that is sons and daughters of Nagbewa, does not include Kusasi, for which the professor claims. The Bewa lineage comprises the Dagomba, that is the Yoruba, the Mampusi, Nanumba, and Moses. No son or daughter of Nagbewa gave birth to Kusasi. The learned professor said they are yet to put their history together. Granted that is the case, but the oral tradition, which has been told and retold times and again through folk tales and documented by sign, has it that, and I quote, "The Bamshi people came with the first chief of Binduri from Mampusi. The Goshi people said they fell from the sky in a tornado, and the Pusiga people are alleged to have descended from above by a rope ladder. It is therefore not surprising when some described the Kusasi as descendants of union between imported slaves." Hilton did not miss words by also describing the Kusasi in the code, and I quote, "Kusasi were originally a comparatively small group, and many who are so described today are not of true Kusasi stock, being the descendants of slaves or immigrants coming into the present days. The majority of those claiming true Kusasi blood lived in Tonde between the Volta. They trace their origin to the section of Yoga, Zauga, and Biogun, immediately north of Volta boundary, where numbers of Kusasi are still to be found. Up to the 1920s, Kusasi of Tonde were mostly descendants of Zauga and Biogun folk. The few real Kusasi of long standing in Agoli east of the White Volta haven't come from Yoga. In addition, a few Biogun Dindinga Kusasi are said to have migrated over into the Senibaga area of Agoli from Zorgore. Hilton, 1962, page number 79 to 87. Is quoted from there for further reference. The only encounter the Kusasi ever came closer to Nagbewa was those who were servants at the Bewa Palace at Pusiga. This statement is not true because among the descendants of Nagbewa, no traces can be made to Kusasi. It is also worth noting that Gumnaba daughter got married to a Kusasi man called Aram at Biogo, and they had a son called Aguida, who went to Gambaga for spiritual fortification. Aguida again went to the Nairu for Tendanship title. He established the Tendanship of Biogo and returned as Tendana under the title Kalense Naba. Some refer to Aguida as Fetis Naba. The title Naba was an honor conferred on him. Even though he was not a chief in real sense and never regarded himself as such. He was the first Kusasi on record in the whole of their entire history to be referred to as Naba. Kenneth Naba Fetis helped his people immensely, and when Gum Naba's fame declined, Kenneth Naba Fetis became the dominant force in the region. Apart from the above cases, one can look at the current intermarriages between the Mampusi and the Kusasi as another close relationship, but this is nowhere near Kusasi as part of the Wa descendants. Also, Prof. Agbamo claimed that, and I quote, Boku as center was not much a center until 1932, when DC signed the special commissioner and agent of the district, who we will call the district commissioner, asked all chiefs to come together and told them he wanted to elevate one of them to become the paramount chief of the area. And that was how our people decided that they were busy with farming. And since the white man have his office at Boku, whosoever become in charge of Boku will become the messenger to relay information to them whenever it is necessary. And that was why Boku was elevated 1932 to become the government of all over Kusak, and it so happened that one of the Mampusi princes, who was a chief in Boku, became the head, but did not mean or imply that Nayiri ruled over the Kusasi land. That was not the case. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, this is a fallacy and it is not true. This assertion made by the claimed professor is not true. It was certainly to mislead the public. This is because by 1932, Boku have had the 10th chief, as clearly shown under the true genesis of Boku chiefs between 1922 to 1935. Naburi Mamboda Lobzuru was the chief of Boku. We are worried because a person of his caliber should have known this better. Another evidence to rule out the professor claim is that the first chief in Boku was Na Ali Atabiambo, and that was 1721 to 1732. So this goes to refute his earlier claim. Around the 1652, Binduri Na Mahamba was at Binduri. He was the chief of Binduri. And Tangana Kurgaba, and then his name was Tangana Mahamba. His ski name was Nakurgaba, was Atanga. Nakurgaba later went back to Naleru and became the 16th Nayiri from 1743 to 1773. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, he was the chief of Tanga before he moved to Naleru to become the Nayiri. Besides, the Nayiri ruled over Bolga, Bomo, Tongo, Nangori, Sakoti, Pantia, Wurikambo,